Yeah. Yeah. No, he's not. There's a lot of people who put up numbers tonight. I mean, we had 701 yards of offense. Somehow that's not the most amount of yards a team has scored in an LSU game this year. Ole Miss got 706. Ridiculous. Two 700 yards before.
I've already got like
imagine covering the Big Ten. Covering like Nebraska every week. Sure, I like the defense once in a while. Like, I think their head would explode. When Michigan beat Rare, it's like, wait, you're on the football in the second half? I didn't know that. That was only yeah, they didn't have a pass. They didn't throw a pass in the second half.
that makes me sick.
It does. Well, they threw the ball once and it was a pass interference call, so it just really didn't count. So they did not throw the ball in the second half. And they won by multiple scores. The Big Ten's so freaking no, they're not good. I'll stop dig. But he was still playing it. Oh no, Dick's still playing. It's like these guys get a lot more people than I thought. His hand with his head on it. That's your conference, man. That's your bread and butter, the ECC. Mine's the Pac-12, so it could be more impressive.
You know what? We're merging.
We are merging. Can't wait to watch Stanford versus Georgia Tech. Cal versus Miami. Are you ready for that? Yeah. SMU being relevant again is kind of fun. They did. Stanford's terrible. Stanford's terrible. Oregon State's decent. Okay. He's great. I love him. I love his play calling. I love that I love that he plays with he is nuts. He will make tough calls, go for it on fourth down, or all these crazy plays. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, he must be leading the NCS yards by so much. Yeah, geez, ridiculous. Yeah. Manziel won it more last year.
And technically, Caleb Williams, he was third ball position. He already won the high. But he paints his face.
But he painted his fingernails. He can't
Paints his fingernails? He got those in. I don't know where that. So that argument is absolutely irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. Thank God Jim. This guy's throwing out.
I looked it up and
It's true. Here's the thing, like, he didn't even play that good defense thing. He just didn't throw the ball. They just didn't let him throw the ball. He's a really good player. I like him as a profile. Sorry, it's sweet. Yeah, we're laughing about the sweet.
I know it's a little deceptive.
What a ridiculous football.
He had 203 more yards than Porter's entire offense. That's insane. Well, that was before.
Jaden?
That's before.
At least who should go to the
That's when I was walking on my like
Jaden.
which is insane.
Probably Penix. Probably Nix. Probably not. Neighbors better.
And then they didn't do it, and they did it again.
I mean, where do I begin? I mean, I'd like to start with Noah Kane. You know, Noah Kane, Josh Williams coming in, and here's two guys that haven't played all year. And when we need a couple of guys that are seniors, look, you guys want me to talk about Jaden Daniels, I get it, okay? But you're gonna listen to me, okay? Because I got the podium and you're gonna have to listen to me. And that's just the way it goes. And I mean that with a great deal of respect. But when you're building a program and you want your players to model themselves after the right people in terms of the world that we live in today with NIL and the transfer portal, here's two guys that haven't played much at all. And all they've done is been great teammates and done the little things the right way and have practiced hard and have waited for their opportunity. And when their opportunity came, they delivered for us today. And for me, that gives me so much energy in this profession that when we're talking about transfers and, you know, NIL and how that drives you out of the profession, to have two guys like that in the locker room just gives you so much energy because they are out there. And that's why I wanted to take a moment to let you know those are the kind of kids that we want to model. Now, I know you want to talk about Jaden Daniels. He's pretty good. Matter of fact, he set an FBS record tonight, as you know, where he threw for 350 yards and rushed for 200. So, just an amazing accomplishment. As you know, he was in a concussion protocol. But here again, you know, talk about doing it the right way. Tuesday, he did not practice, but he was out on the field. He took mental reps right behind the offensive unit, was attentive, you know, had a play script in his hand, did it the right way, prepared the right way on Tuesday. Wednesday, he was in a non-contact situation where he got all of the work necessary, so he was prepared. And because of that, was able to compete at the highest level. And today, you know, when you have a player like that and a guy like Noah Kane and Josh Williams, you want to put those guys out in front so others can see that's the way you do it. And so thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about those guys because we're blessed that, you know, we have them. I know everybody wants to talk about going 10-0 and winning a national championship, and I know that's important. But in this time where we're building a program, those three guys are as important as anything that's happened this year for me. So, great game. I thought Florida played great football tonight. They did some really good things defensively, caused some difficulty for us. But when we were able to make some adjustments at half and lock down some protections that they were overloading some of our protections, we got the one-on-one matchups that eventually broke it open for us. I thought their quarterback was really good. Our quarterback was just better. So with that, we'll open up the questions, and thanks again.
Scooter?
Did Florida use a spy? Did Florida use a spy?
I have no idea.
Mr. Chair.
Coach, right here, you talked about building, obviously. Go back to that last drive. You had some young guys in there, obviously, but to not let Florida score there at the end, what does that say about kind of resolve, where a lot of fans might not see a lot, but what did you see out of that?
Yeah, it was the last two drives, right? Obviously, and we told them on the sideline, we just need a few stops. And we got the big stop, obviously, that allowed us the last touchdown. And as you know, we were able to chop a lot of time off the clock. And again, I think that drive was probably the most significant. The last one, we were in softer coverage. We were willing to give up some yardage, but I don't know that we have made many stops inside the 10-yard line or inside the 5 this year. So just to prevail and have enough of the tenacity necessary is going to help us moving forward, especially with so many young guys on the field.
Right, we talked about in the back straight ahead. We talked about the offense and Jaden on third down, specifically the duality of his game, keeping the defense honest. But how much does the rest of the offense, selling what they do and being a threat on every play, allow Jaden to be able to make these huge plays?
Well, it's, I think we had 6 third downs today, so we didn't have a lot of third downs. And when we got into third down situations, they were either all or nothing in terms of what they did. So they either brought, 6, 7 up, and then they dropped everybody. And when they did, Jaden would scan and there was nothing there. He would just take off. And then when they brought pressure, he would stay in there and then find the one-on-one matchup. So when you have a quarterback that is that patient and willing to stay in there, obviously it's helped when you have balance, with the receivers that we have. And then to have running backs that are willing to give themselves up in terms of protection too. So clearly, Mason Taylor hasn't been talked about a lot, but he was outstanding in protection. We had to leave him in a lot tonight. He had some nice catches, but he was also part of that as well.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the call against Andre in the second quarter?
I figured that was going to come up. I needed to take a little bit more time to make sure that I was articulating this the right way. I just think that we're in a bad position in college football as it relates to targeting. And I brought this up when we had the transmitter in the helmet. I had been pounding that table for the transmitter in the helmet for about 3 years, and it's fallen on deaf ears until all of a sudden there seems to be this sign stealing, epidemic, and now everybody wants to put the radio piece in the helmets. Well, we're going to get to that with targeting as well. When you have a situation like we did, where Jaden Daniels gets hit underneath the chin, driven to the ground, and is concussed, and it doesn't get reviewed, and then we have a play like tonight, which was a normal football play where a running back is lowering his shoulder, and we are trying to make a tackle. We're not targeting, we're not trying to lead with the helmet, we're just trying to make a tackle. We throw a kid out of the game. That is tragic. We're in a bad place right now. And we need to stop and figure this out. Because there's a lot of words I could use, but it's tragic that we threw a kid out of a game because he was trying to play football. And whatever semantics, there's going to be a great explanation about this. Oh, he used the crown of his helmet, or he did this, or he did that. He was playing football. Last week, that guy that hit Jaden Daniels was trying to knock him out. You can say whatever you want, but that's what he was trying to do. Our guy was trying to make a tackle. So everybody's smart enough to figure that out. But we have two different outcomes. We got to figure it out.
And what are your thoughts on Ryan Yates and Jordan Allen when they came to replace Andre?
They, they did a pretty good job. I mean, we should have cut one post off, but I thought, Jordan got a little bit more work. I don't know that he got a lot. I think the one thing that disappointed me a little bit with the young guys is they got to tackle. And I'm not going to let up on that with them. I mean, when you go out there, I don't care if you run 4.2, 4.3, I don't care if you got 6 stars or 18 stars, you better darn tackle. And we got to tackle when we're out there. And it's not even an art. It's a want to, and we got to tackle better.
Coach, in all your years of coaching, have you seen a quarterback like Jaden in terms of his running ability, a guy that can go 85 yards up the sideline? And
No, never. I mean, his ability, look, usually those guys tire out, Smokey the Bear jumps on his back at about 30 yards and then lactic acid kicks in and then they're gone. He kept going. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's the best quarterback in the country. He's the best playmaker in the country. He's the best player. Now, I've watched them all. He is the best player. You can say whatever you want. Well, we're 7-3, and whoever else is undefeated. That doesn't mean anything. What matters is who's the best player. He's the best player.
And obviously he was playing at a very high level last week.
Yes, he was.
He shouldn't be penalized for getting knocked out of the game.
Well, look, whoever the, here's what I'll say. His numbers obviously prove to everybody what he's done over the entire year, and then at night like tonight, I think kind of solidify that.
Or do you have an update yet on John Emery after he had leave the game?
It was a knee injury. We'll probably have to do some further testing, but it seemed to be fairly significant.
And then you talked about how how to overload protections, I think it was, and then what allowed those one-on-ones to end up kind of opening up late in the second half and be able to hit those deep shots like to Brian.
We had to make some adjustments in protections. They were sending one extra player, and so as we rolled out of our no back to get away from the backside end who we couldn't block. So they then started to send an extra overload up inside, which required us to change our protections because they covered everybody and then send somebody through the A gap. So, anytime you do that, you have to kind of tweak your protections a little bit. We did that at halftime. We were able to pick that up.
We got time for 2 more, Ed.
Coach, I know you said a couple weeks ago that awards take care of themselves. Do you think Jaden took care of one tonight?
If he didn't win it tonight, he's got to be the leading candidate because what he did tonight, unless the Heisman is just about popularity, if you want to be the most popular, then fine. But he's the best player in college football. He did something tonight that no one's ever done. So if that doesn't make you the leading candidate, then maybe the Heisman is not really for the best player. Maybe it's for the most popular player.
Last one.
Coach, kind of coming back full circle, talk about the receivers tonight. Malik's a star, Thomas is there, Kyron Lacey didn't even have a catch, but the blocking downfield that they did to give Jaden, the openings that he had to go 85 yards, Malik took 2 people out.
Yeah, they were, and we got called for holding downfield, which, I'll take because our guys are working hard. Look, when you have a quarterback that plays at that level, that gets their attention. And I think that, you know, they know that he can turn long runs into touchdowns. And so, you know, I commend them on their work ethic and getting, you know, guys covered up downfield and being physical with them.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
All right, if you have a question for Jaden, raise your hand for the mic too.
Jake, can you explain how a guy who's in a concussion protocol for 3 days, sits in SEC, still getting total offense record?
God. No, that's pretty much it. I can't even explain that honestly. You know, just how he created me. You know, to be able to just be tough. You know, get through stuff quickly. You know, it was my first concussion, so you know, just doing everything that they said I needed to do, progress daily. So you know, it just worked out.
Jaden in the back, just take us through what you see out there. Obviously, Coach talked about your patience and, you know, your willingness to wait. But then when you do see it opening up, what are you thinking when you have those moments?
When I do see it open up, you know, scoring, you know, trying to be more smart when I run, but you know, there's times where I'm able to, you know, squeak through somebody, you know, we call it split two, be able to split two, you know, get a couple more yards or potentially score. So, you know, that's kind of what I think when I'm sitting back there. You know, I try to be more patient back there, you know, let things open up, let guys open up down the field. But if I see a run lane, you know, I'm going to take it and just be decisive about it.
Jaden, right here. Coach talked about, you know, your week of preparation, the mental reps you took and everything. Can you kind of walk us through what this week was like for you and maybe the transition from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and kind of knowing what could happen this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it was rough. You know, Monday, you know, we usually have things, you know, be able to watch the film from the last game, you know, scouting report on the next team. And I wasn't able to be a part of that. You know, obviously, you know, things was bothering me and stuff like that. So Tuesday came and, you know, kind of just try to stay in the same routine. You know, they limited me as much as possible, but I still try to figure out ways, you know, still keep my same routine, you know, watch film, you know, just stay consistent. And then Tuesday helped out a lot, you know, be able to see Garrett and Ricky go out there and practice, but also being behind, you know, getting the mental reps and, you know, watching practice film. Just being dialed in, you know, as much as possible. And then, you know, Wednesday and Thursday allowed me to practice a little bit. So, you know, once you get physical reps, you know, just trying to make the most of it, you know, every rep I got.
Jake, right here in the back. Do you feel like tonight was your Heisman moment? You've had a lot of great games this season. What was tonight your Heisman moment to the nation and tell them I'm the best player in the country?
I mean, I would say so. You know, it's humbly possible, but, you know, just, you know, I just give thanks to, you know, God and my teammates, because without them, I wouldn't be in this situation.
Over here, Jaden. Tonight you became the first player in FBS history to finish the game with 350 passing yards, 200 rushing yards. Also joined Johnny Manziel as just the second player in SEC history to finish the game with 200 passing yards, 200 rushing yards. Just what are your initial thoughts on that?
You know, I can't do it on my own. You know, some things I'm able to do on my own, but you know, O-line gotta block. You know, running backs gotta do what they gotta do, and receivers gotta make plays. You know, I'm just back there just trying to, you know, give them the ball, let them do what they do. You know, O-line they're doing an incredible job. You know, up front, you know, just dominating the opponent.
You and Garrett were having some fun with the Heisman Trophy. Are you taking the attitude, I'm just gonna have some fun with this, and whatever happens, happens with it, or?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely, that's what you gotta do. You gotta control what you can control. And one thing I can control is how I approach each and every week. You know, how I practice and how I play. And then from there, you know, I can make those decisions.
Two more for Jaden.
Jaden, your 51-yard run in particular, y'all just Florida just taking lead for the first time. Can you take us through that play, and did you actually intentionally look off the linebacker before escaping?
Yeah, I was kind of in between if I was going to dump it down to Josh or, you know, run. So I seen the linebacker, you know, make his move, and then I just countered off of that. Basically, you know, was able to run and then, you know, split two guys and be able to score. So You know, some things I can't explain what I do. You know, I'll just be in the moment, honestly. But I just know beforehand, I was just seeing what the linebacker was going to do.
Your 85-yard run, I mean, just describe that play also, just could you feel the guy behind you? And I mean, sometimes guys have to look at the replay boards to see where guys are behind them. Tell me what you did in that play.
You know, the DN crash and, you know, Malik, he threw a great block. And, you know, that allowed me to get down the sideline from there. My whole thought process is just don't get caught. So, you know, I started getting tired a little bit at the end, but, you know, one thing, I just didn't want to get caught because if I did, I was going to hear it for the rest of the week.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, dude. We'll bring the rest of the guys in.